It's freezing up here, guys, but at minus 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, it's perfect for making snow. I was told these snow guns. China's recovery from the COVID-19 epidemic has been a shot in the arm for domestic tourism. Hotels are seeing bookings back to pre-COVID levels or exceeding them in some cases. So the main risk you're seeing right now, from what I understand, is more from the supply side in terms of a potential chip shortage rather than the demand from Chinese consumers.
This I would say absolutely.
So stronger volume is actually driving your higher margins right now. Do you forecast these margins, gross margins, to continue increasing in the next few quarters?
We believe there's still room for our margins to improve, but don't expect to see a dramatic improvement like last year.
Challenges remain in terms of facilities, volume, and economies of scale in order to make winter sports in China more enjoyable and, of course, more affordable as well. Back to you guys.
On the successful hosting of the Winter Games next year to further boost all of these market aspects. Our Wailing Time in our studio tonight. Thank you.
We see riders like Wang Shuang everywhere in China. Day in, day out, they dash about from one spot to another, racing against time. Now, I myself am a beneficiary of China's food delivery system. This is a thin-skinned walnut that locals here cultivated themselves. In fact, my very first time trying out Xinjiang walnuts. While experts say the reasons for young people choosing to ride wheels vary from those of the middle-aged and elderly, it's still a major step forward for China, a country which has no real traditions in this area. There are over 4 registered doctors for every 1,000 people in Beijing. But in the western province of Sichuan, where I am now, there are just roughly 2 doctors per the same amount of people. For a country that's so vast, unequal distribution and accessibility to quality medical resources remains a problem. If, like me, you're wondering, why is this huge green apple placed at the exhibition? Well, there is a reason. To Tadao Ando, this green apple represents our youthful hearts. That it doesn't matter how old we are, staying young is all in the state of mind.
I hope for the most is for them to be grateful to society, for them to feel that there are still many good people out there. That when they grow up, they will also want to give back to society and help others when others are in need. That would be the biggest reward for me.
TGT and Wailing Time has that story.
China is aging fast and its birth rates aren't keeping up. The country's also got one of the earliest retirement ages in the world. A triple whammy, you may call it. Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, located in China's northwest and far removed from megacities of the east, may seem remote and unfamiliar to those who haven't been to this part of the country. One may wonder what medical resources are like in a place like this. 6 years since Beijing's successful bid for the Winter Games. So congratulations, because Genting Snowpark is a key venue. You've passed all test events in February this year. It must have been quite a journey for you, I can imagine.
Yes, it is a dream come true. So what started as a simple ski resort that I invested in.
The Seychelles has only 10 embassies in the world. The one in Beijing, set up in 2007, has only 7 staff members. This includes Ambassador Vivian Fochtau.
At the same time, preserving our sovereignty, which is very important to the Sichuan people.
I suppose with countries that are smaller, the issue of sovereignty might perhaps come much more to the fore. So for Seychelles, how would you define what's a solid investment, solid and viable investment in your country without losing your sovereignty?
In Seychelles, we have rules and regulations.
DACO was already denying these allegations in response to third-party reports.
I'm now here at DACO New Energy's facility, one of Xinjiang's major polysilicon suppliers. Various reports state these 4 companies account for almost half of the world's polysilicon supply, a base material to make solar panels.
I wanted to first understand the income levels of the staff and if they meet the region's minimum wage requirements.
Business seems to be as usual here inside Huafu's facility. The company was severely hit by US sanctions on China's cotton crop.
But I was mostly keen to observe working conditions inside the factory. 7,000 employees work here. 95%, I was told, belong to ethnic minorities. mostly Uyghurs.
It is day 2 of the meetings between the world's biggest carbon emitters. Let's get more from CGTN's Weilin Tang in Shanghai. Weilin.
Well, Gerald, it is the second day of talks and it's said to be held at the hotel just behind me. Now, we have yet to receive any public statements from both China and the United States yet, but yesterday, as the talks were ongoing, the Chinese Foreign Ministry has confirmed that Chinese President Xi Jinping will attend a virtual climate summit today with France and Germany.
CGTN's Weilin Tang speaks to a few customers and has this report.
Less than a week ago, a woman climbed on top of Tesla's vehicles here at its booth at the auto show. She yelled that her car brake had malfunctioned. This has caused quite a stir on local social media. This bankruptcy move comes just 7 months after the company's shares were delisted from Nasdaq. And keep in mind, Luckin had just about a 1-year run of trading on the exchange prior to that. Kuaishou's IPO comes at a time when China is strengthening regulation of live streaming platforms. In November 2020, the country's communication authority said it is capping the amount people can spend on virtual gifts. That you mentioned that because of the hundreds of players here in China, do you foresee a consolidation within the country or even within the region and globally?
Actually, it's not only to be foreseen, it must be.
HG's Q1 2021 results are not out yet, but judging by your Q4 2020 revenue per available room, it actually fell by a lower magnitude compared to your 2020 year-long average. Would you say that the worst is over for IHG in China?
You know, if we think back at this time last year, we were just starting to see some of the green shoots of recovery.
For now, over 90% of CG's revenues still come from its home turf, China. Foreign markets accounted for less than 2% of its total revenues as of end March 2021. When one mentions fund management, what comes to mind usually is the buying and selling of stocks, bonds, and other assets to generate returns. Now, what a custodian does is this. Serious trade tensions between China and the United States still persist, but this may not be an across-the-board problem. A decade since I last snowboarded, and how lucky I am to be able to do so again. While I'm on the beginner slope, the toughest slope behind me is one of the venues for the 2022 Winter Olympics. Raising pigs for their own consumption is a way of life for farmers here. If they have extra, they might sell 1 or 2. But there's a saying, if you want a different outcome, you have to do something differently. So where we are right now is just about a 4-hour drive from Chengdu, the capital city of Sichuan province. Now this complex was built from the blocks of China's rural revitalization strategy. 王县长，谢谢接受采访啊！你今天穿的真的很漂亮。
You look so beautiful today.
先问你这
So
个
my
房子
first
的建
question
得很
to
好
you
的，
is
然后
like
已
this
经
so
搬了
beautiful
有
house
1年
is
半了，
actually
他
moved
们
here
是否
for
适应这个
a
新
year
的
and a
生活方式
half.
吗
So people got to this
目
new
前呢
way
已
of
经
life.
适应了，刚刚开始呢。
Majority part of the debugging process is now also automated, whether it's testing the TV's voice recognition and white balance functions. But a question some may ask is, after the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics, is the popularity of winter sports here to stay? The equipment here is specifically tailored to the needs of senior citizens as opposed to younger generations. For example, this treadmill has a lower starting speed and its top speed is pretty modest too. It's also got a safety line in which they hook onto their bodies. If it comes off, the machine will automatically stop. This baby is going to be setting sail for the Arctic Ocean today. A 4-month journey across 15,000 nautical miles or about 27,000 kilometers. And get this, the crew is planning to do this without making any pit stops at any ports, whether it's for a rest or to take on fresh supplies.
We'll sail from Shanghai and pass through the waters of South Korea, Japan, and via the Bering Sea, we'll head to Russia, Norway, Iceland, Canada, Alaska, then back to China via the Bering Straits.